Hi everyone, welcome back to Victim Advocacy Central, your resource for support and guidance on your journey towards safety and healing. If you or someone you know is a victim or survivor of domestic violence, today's video is especially important. We're going to cover 5 key rights that you need to know as a survivor of domestic violence in Texas. First up is your right to break your lease. In Texas, under the property code, if you are a victim of domestic violence, you have the right to terminate your lease early without penalty. There is specific documentation you will need to provide your landlord, such as a copy of a final protective order, a temporary injunction, a temporary ex parte protective order, or an emergency protective order. Other documentation that can be accepted is a signed statement from a licensed healthcare provider who examined the victim, a licensed mental health provider who examined or evaluated the victim, or an advocate from a local domestic violence agency who assisted the victim. Keep in mind that once the proper documentation is submitted, your landlord can't charge you for breaking the lease early, but they can still ask for any unpaid rent prior to you submitting your notice. By law, all leases must include a statement like, tenants may have a special rights to terminate the lease early in cases of family violence or military deployments. If your lease lacks this information, you are not responsible for unpaid rent owed before ending the lease. A landlord who violates this section is liable to the tenant for actual damages, a civil penalty equal to the amount of 1 month's rent plus $500, and attorney fees. This information can be a critical step in helping you safely relocate to a more secure environment without worrying about financial repercussions. Now let's talk about your right to keep your home address confidential under the Texas Tax Code, Section 25.025. This section of the Texas law allows certain individuals, including victims of family violence, to request that their home address be kept confidential in property tax records. This helps prevent an abuser from finding out where you live by looking up public property records. To apply, you'll need to submit a written request to your local appraisal district, along with providing them with certain information such as a copy of an emergency protective order, a copy of a final protective order, or confirmation that a victim is under the address confidentiality program. Once they have received the information, they will remove your home address from public records to help protect your safety and privacy. The third right you should know about is your right to apply for the Address Confidentiality Program. Texas offers an address confidentiality program for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and trafficking. This program provides a substitute P.O. box mailing address that you can use instead of your real home address. An email sent to the substitute address will be forwarded to your real location, keeping it hidden from your abuser. This program can be a huge help if you are worried about your abuser tracking your location through public records or mail. You can apply through your local victim service providers or the Texas Attorney General's office. Now let's talk about your right to use a pseudonym form when making a police report. Domestic violence survivors can file a police report under a pseudonym, which means you don't have to provide your real name. This helps protect your identity and personal information from being revealed during an investigation or court proceedings. Using a pseudonym can give you an extra layer of protection, especially if you're worried about retaliation from your abuser or keeping your privacy intact. Finally, one of the most important rights is your right to apply for a protective order. I want to make it very clear that a restraining order is not the same as a protective order in the state of Texas. Protective orders can be a powerful tool for keeping you safe. They can prevent your abuser from committing acts of violence against you or your family or household, communicating with you or family members in a threatening or harassing way. At times, the judge can prohibit all or any form of contact if specified by the court. Coming within a certain distance of your home, workplace, school, or daycare, possessing firearms, removing or harming pets or companion animals, tracking or monitoring the applicant's property or vehicle without consent is prohibited. This includes using tracking apps or devices on personal electronics or physically following the applicant or their family members directly or through another person. If a protective order is violated, the abuser can possibly be arrested. In Texas, you can apply for a protective order even if you haven't pressed criminal charges. Protective orders are just one form of legal protection available to you, and many victim advocates or legal aid organizations can help you apply. So there you have it, 5 critical rights that every survivor of domestic violence should know in Texas. The right to break your lease, the right to keep your home address confidential, the right to apply for the address confidentiality program, the right to use a pseudonym when making a police report, and the right to apply for protective orders. If you or someone you know is a survivor of domestic violence, reach out for help. There are so many resources out there to support you. Don't hesitate to contact local shelters, legal advocates, or law enforcement for assistance. And if this video has helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it to help others find this valuable information. Thank you for watching and stay safe.